Hi guys, Sam from Manfa's Makes. Happy Sunday! It is of course Sunday story time. So welcome back to all my returners. Hi to any newbies. If you are new here, I read stories from Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales on a Saturday and a Sunday. The complete playlist you will find on my channel, and I have also read The Wizard of Oz should you wish to listen to that. That is also on my channel. So, as before, guys, I know the ones that come every week are probably a little tired of hearing it, but I do need to say it. These stories were written a very, very, very long time ago. They can be a bit dark, they can be a bit grim, and any themes, messages, meanings, anything like that are those of the authors only, and I am literally just reading you the words from the page. But I do enjoy sitting down and just taking 5 minutes to read you a few stories. I think today's video is going to be quite quick because I have 3 short stories before quite a long one. So I am going to do the 3 short ones today and save the long one for next weekend, if that is okay. Plus I need to get a wriggle on and get this painting done before the children come home, because I am actually filming this on Friday. And, you know, we don't want kids home and wet paint. It would be a disaster. My dog has been a pain in the bum enough. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get on to the stories. So we are starting today on story 78, which is The Old Man and His Grandson. Just remember, guys, these are super short stories. So, The Old Man and His Grandson. There was once a very old man whose eyes had become dim, his ears dull of hearing, his knees trembled, and when he sat at dinner he could hardly hold the spoon, and spilled the broth upon the tablecloth or let it run out of his mouth. His son and his son's wife were disgusted at this, so the old grandfather at last had to sit in the corner behind the stove, and they gave him his food in an earthenware bowl, and not even enough of it. And he used to look towards the table with his eyes full of tears. Once, too, his trembling hands could not hold the bowl, and it fell to the ground and broke. The young wife scolded him, but he said nothing and only sighed. Then they brought him a wooden bowl for a few halfpence, out of which he had to eat. They were once sitting thus when the little grandson of 4 years old began to gather together some bits of wood upon the ground. "What are you doing there?" asked the father. "I am making a little trough," answered the child, "for father and mother to eat out of when I am big." The man and his wife looked at each other for a while, and presently began to cry. Then they took the old grandfather to the table, and from then on always let him eat with them, and likewise said nothing if he did spill a little of anything. That's that one. And then story 79 is The Water Nixie. A little brother and sister were once playing by a well, and while they were thus playing, they both fell in. A water nixie lived down below, who said, "Now I have got you, now you shall work hard for me," and carried them off with her. She gave the girl dirty tangled flax to spin, and she had to fetch water in a bucket with a hole in it, and the boy had to hew down a tree with a blunt axe, and they got nothing to eat but dumplings as hard as stones. Then at last the children became so impatient that they waited until one Sunday, when the nixie was at church, and ran away. But when the church was over, the nixie saw that the birds had flown, and followed them with great strides. The children saw her from afar, and the girl threw a brush behind her which formed an immense hill of bristles, with thousands and thousands of spikes, over which the nixie was forced to scramble with great difficulty. At last, however, she got over. When the children saw this, the boy threw behind him a comb, which made a great hill of combs with 1,000 times 1,000 teeth, but the nixie managed to keep herself steady on them, and at last crossed over that. Then the girl threw behind her a looking-glass, which formed a hill of mirrors, and was so slippery that it was impossible for the nixie to cross it. Then she thought, "I will go home quickly and fetch my axe, and cut the hill of glass in half." Long before she returned, however, and had hewn through the glass, the children had escaped to a great distance, and the water nixie was obliged to retreat to her well again. There we go. And then the last story, which is another short one. I'm sorry, guys. This one is going to be super, super short. Is story 80, and it is called The Death of the Little Hen. Once upon a time, the little hen went with the little cock to the nut hill, and they agreed together that whoever of them found a kernel of a nut should share it with the other. Then the hen found a large, large nut, but said nothing about it, intending to eat the kernel for herself. The kernel, however, was so large that she could not swallow it, and it remained sticking in her throat, so that she was alarmed lest she should be choked. Then she cried, "Cock, I entreat you to run as fast as you can and fetch me some water, or I shall choke." The little cock did run as fast as he could to the spring, and said, "Stream, you are to give me some water. The little hen is lying on the nut hill, and she has swallowed a large nut and is choking." The well answered, "First run to the bride and get her to give you some red silk." The little cock ran to the bride and said, "Bride, you are to give me some red silk. I want to give red silk to the well. The well is to give me some water. I am to take the water to the little hen who is lying on the nut hill and has swallowed a great kernel and is choking on it." The bride answered, "First run and bring me my little wreath which is hanging to a willow." So the little cock ran to the willow and drew the wreath from the branch and took it to the bride, and the bride gave him some water for it. Then the little cock took the water to the hen, but when he got there the hen had choked in the meantime and lay there dead and motionless. Then the cock was so distressed that he cried aloud, and every animal came to lament the little hen, and 6 mice built a little carriage to carry her to her grave, and when the carriage was ready they harnessed themselves to it, and the cock drove. On the way, however, they met the fox, who said, "Where are you going, little cock?" "I am going to bury my little hen." "May I drive with you?" "Yes, but seat yourself at the back of the carriage, for in the front my little horses could not drag you." Then the fox seated himself at the back, and after that the wolf, the bear, the stag, the lion, and all the beasts of the forest did the same. Then the procession went onwards, and they reached the stream. "How are we to get over?" said the little cock. A straw was lying by the stream, and it said, "I will lay myself across, and you shall drive over me." But when the 6 mice came to the bridge, the straw slipped and fell into the water, and the 6 mice all fell in and were drowned. Then they were again in difficulty, and a coal came and said, "I am large enough. I will lay myself across, and you shall drive over me." So the coal also laid itself across the water, but unfortunately just touched it a little, on which the coal hissed, was extinguished, and died. When a stone saw that, it took pity on the little cock, wished to help him, and laid itself over the water. Then the cock drew the carriage himself, but when he got it over and reached the other shore with the dead hen, and was about to draw over the others who were sitting behind as well, there were too many of them. The carriage ran back, and they all fell into the water together and were drowned. Then the little cock was left alone with the dead hen, and dug a grave for her and laid her in it, and made a mound above it, on which he sat down and fretted until he died too, and then everyone was dead. There you go, guys. That is it for today, because the next story is rather long. And yeah, it is rather long. So we are definitely going to leave it there for today. I am sorry that this was just a little short one. I still enjoyed my time with you though, and I hope you enjoyed it too. I hope that whatever this Sunday holds for you, that you have a lovely time and you have lots of fun. I hope you get a lot of crafting in too. I hope to. Normally on a Sunday, myself and Mike sit down playing Hobie Bingo, and we do the tile of the week whilst playing Hobie Bingo. So that is what we will be doing on our Sunday. Yeah, so that is literally it, guys. I am super sorry that it is so short, but that's just how the stories fall. There are still lots and lots of stories to come, but I do like to space out the short ones and the long ones a little bit, because as you can imagine, I do get quite a dry mouth when I read. So I am going to go and make myself a cup of tea, wet my whistle, and carry on with the painting. So thank you for spending some of your Sunday with me. I really do appreciate it. You could be anywhere else, but you're here with me. So thank you so much. And until the madness at Manfa's begins tomorrow, which is Monday, for another week, then I will see you then. So stay safe, be kind, look after one another, get some good quality time in with your loved ones, and get some good quality crafting time in. And I will see you in the next one, or around the YouTube streets. Bye guys. Love ya.